We laugh, we'll cry, we'll dance, we'll share your pain. Sometimes it rains, but now it's time to gain. Oh, the Debbion Newman Project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step. If you watch the show, you'll know everything you need to know. No other can. #1 entertainment show. Subscribe to YouTube so you'll catch it while you're on the go. Where energies flow, building each other, so we gotta grow. Oh, the Debbion Newman Project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step.
Welcome to the Debbion Newman Project. I must tell you that I was anticipating this interview for the entire week because, yeah, I want you to talk to you so bad. You being a police officer, the way you look in plain clothes, I would never pass you on the street and be like, oh, she's a cop. Never. And if someone said to me that, she's a police officer, I'd be like, no, sir, not she. It's an actor.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I get it a lot. And I'm actually loving it because I want to be in places where sometimes I can just relax. Nobody knows who I am. And yes, I'm loving it.
Perfect.
But thank you for having me though. And I was looking forward to this interview too. So thanks for having me.
No problem at all. My platform is a safe space for women to come on and express themselves and talk about the things that make them feel powerful and good about themselves. When I look at you, I see someone with beauty with purpose. That's what I think when I look at you. And I'm sure it's not the first time you're hearing it, but from my eyes, my observation, I see beauty with a purpose. But just before we jump into all this niceness about Sasha, I want you to tell me in a nutshell, who is Sasha, and describe to us how you grew up.
All right, in a nutshell, who is Sasha? Well, I am a little girl from the country who now resides in Kingston. So I am originally from Linstead, that's in St. Catherine.
Wow.
Yes, and I've been back and forth from Kingston to the country because my mom lives in Kingston and my dad is in the country, as also my aunts and my uncles and other cousins. So I've been back and forth. I went to St. Jago High School, and then I went to the Convent of Mercy Academy Alpha. Now, when I got to Alpha, that's when I stayed in town with mom. So after that, I went to the University of the West Indies. I joined the police force. I did a little bit of pageant, Miss Universe Jamaica 2019, Miss Jamaica
You
World
see how
2017.
you said that so humbly. I did a little bit of pageant. Come on, girl, you did your thing.
Yes, I also represented Jamaica at Miss Intercontinental in Egypt. So I was Miss Intercontinental Jamaica 2018. Yes, I am also a police officer, and I'm also a certified makeup artist.
Oh, nice.
And that's it in a nutshell. We don't have all day to tell you all the list, so that's it in a nutshell. Who am I?
You know what? I didn't know that the competition for Miss Intercontinental was in Egypt.
Yes.
How did you enter that pageant?
All right, so there wasn't an official pageant for the Jamaica leg of it. So after I did Miss Jamaica World in 2017, I was selected to represent Jamaica in the 2018 pageant. So that's how I became Miss Intercontinental Jamaica 2017. So I was selected, I did my training, a lot of preparation into it. It's an international pageant, 67 countries were a part of that pageant. I came 7th, but it felt like I won that pageant. And that's how I became a part of that international pageant. Now, it was in Hurghada, Egypt. That was an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. And if I should get another opportunity to go back to Egypt, I will go there in a jiffy, just like that. So
I know the pageant world can be very hectic. Did you get an opportunity to see Egypt?
Yes, I did. Because what I actually did, I extended my stay. So I
Okay.
knew that after the pageant, I wanted to explore. So after the pageant had completed, I did about 3 weeks at her garden. That's where the pageant was. And then I spent a week in Cairo. So in Cairo, there's the Sphinx, there's a pyramid, you get to ride on the camels, you get to check out the town, you get to go in the local markets and see what it is like. So I did get a chance to actually visit some of the places. It was a short stay, but I tried to get
Uh-huh.
everything done within that week, that extra week that I had.
Nice. Sometimes you said that you're a country girl, right? I'm from Clarendon.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you have young girls who feel like it's only the uptown girls and the girls from these areas get these types of opportunities. So it's
Yes.
actually very awesome to know that a girl from Lynn State got this great opportunity to
Yes.
represent us. How would you, what would you say to that little country girl who feel like only the uptown girl have that opportunity to travel and explore all of these wonderful things?
I would most definitely say, look at me. I am an example, right? I grew up in the country, run up and down barefoot, you know, hop vehicles and all of that things, all of the country stuff, play sightings, bus up and catch, all of that.
Yeah.
But if you want something, you have to work hard for it and you have to go towards your goal. You'll get to points where there are obstacles or people saying this or people saying that, you cannot do this. But as long as you have that drive, that will, that you're going to succeed at whatever it is that you want, you're going to set that goal and you're going to work towards it, you'll definitely achieve it. And it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter at all. You can become who you want to be.
Perfect. You just said that you will have people who will try to discourage you and tell you that you cannot do it. Did you
Yeah.
have those type of experiences where people try to tell you, listen, you can't do this because of this reason, that reason? What were those experiences like for you?
All right, so outright persons that come to me and say it directly to my face, but I hear it there and I hear it there, and I've read comments on social media. I've it's like growing up not with your mom and dad. It's
Uh-huh.
I think it's more pressure on you to become somebody. So not many persons are looking for you to become that glow, that light, that individual who is not around both parents. And so I had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pressure on myself as it relates to that. So I used that to motivate me. I use whatever the negative things that are coming at me, I use them to actually motivate me to give people a different perspective on life.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
But because it's too short, because it's too
No,
short.
no, 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 no. That's
Okay.
perfect. Too many times people just have too many things to say, and sadly because of that many of us get deterred and we don't go after our goals or dreams. You being a girl that run
Yes.
up and down, climb tree and maybe go to river, did you see
Yeah.
yourself um being in these types of pageants and want to be a dressy type of girl?
Actually, no. All right. I did a pageantry, like mini pageantry when I was in grade 5. When I was in grade 5, I did what was called Mini Miss York Street Primary. That's the school I went to. And then after that, I didn't think of anything more about pageantry and all of that. And so I didn't see myself as an individual walking the runway, as also then representing Jamaica on an international platform. I
Yes.
didn't see myself at that. But when you also have persons in your corner to motivate you, when you have that family kind of, so to speak, family that looks out for you. I have an aunt, she's big into pageantry and all of that, and she motivates me. She continues to tell me, you can do it. Even when I say, no, I'm not going to do it, with all the stereotype of police officers in Jamaica and all of that. I said, no, nobody's going to even vote for me for enter. So you have to have that drive, as also you have to have a background of people who can also push you into that direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm hearing your determination. I'm hearing your strength and your power. Let's talk about your physical being. Did you look at yourself as a pretty girl, or you were that type of kid that kind of battle in between, like, I wonder if, and you second guess what you look like physically?
All right. Yeah. I'm not going to say I didn't see myself as a pretty girl. So myself cute, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
also I had insecurities because um when I was in primary school, I was teased a lot about like over here is a bit darker than
Okay.
other parts of my face. And I think it's because I'm a hairy girl, so the hair causes it to be darker. But when you're younger, you're not thinking like that. So they used to tease me and call me pop bun. That's what they used to call me in school. And I've never
Oh,
spoken about this
wow.
before. This is like the
Yeah.
first time I'm talking about it. And then I when I was in the pageant, I started to compare myself to other females. I'm like, whoa, them skin nice and smooth, and I'm gonna choose the brown girl over the dark girl. So physically, and I never had a flat tummy. No matter how much me eat and exercise, that my tummy is just always bloated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always look at that, and I always look at the fact that I have acne on my skin. So yeah, so I had a lot of insecurities, but once you get over
Mm-hmm.
it, nothing bothers
Can't
you,
stop you.
nothing at
Yeah.
all. I even had a chip tooth when I did Miss Jamaica World. And during the pageants, you get to be in forums with other women who talk about their experiences, and it kind of builds you and give you that courage to go on. And trust me, after that pageant, I didn't want to get rid of the chip tooth. I just think that that's my signature look. But for the
Mm-hmm.
international pageant, my sponsors are like, no, we're gonna have to
Get
fix
it
that chip
fixed.
too because it's a different scene and whatnot. But after pageantry, I just love my body completely, no matter how it looks. I started appreciating all my flaws because that is what makes me unique. So yeah, I
Mm.
was worried about my body until after I'm like, okay, that doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, you could conquer anything because if you went in with these insecurities and you still came out on top, that's power right there. But
Yeah.
watching your social media, I do see that you place a lot of emphasis and on taking care of your body physically. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
All right. So I live with my aunt right now, and I don't know her age. She has never told anyone her age, and her body is fantastic. She's probably hearing me in the background right now because she's
Uh-huh.
somewhere in the kitchen. Her body is amazing. And I look at that and I say, okay, when I get to her age, I really don't want anybody to look at me and say, okay, she looks like maybe 50 something or 60. No, I want to still look young and fresh. They always say your health is your wealth. And the more
Yes.
the more you take care of your body is the more you look younger. And that is what I
Mhm.
want for myself. I want to look young every day.
Yeah, people still thinking you're 20 something.
Always looking like 60. So because right now I am 20 something, right? I am 29, but I guess a lot of persons think that I'm like 26,
Younger.
27. Next year soon I'll be 30. Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
look like you
I
look
don't
early
look it to
20s.
myself. I don't look it.
You look
Yeah.
early
So
20s.
I, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
That's what I like to
welcome.
hear. So, so the work that you put in is definitely showing, right? So
Right,
what you put
right.
into your body is actually what will be shown to the world. So you have to take care of you, take care of your body, take care of your mind, and you'll be good.
Yeah. You mentioned that your nickname used to be Pot Bun because of the darkness right here. Girl, when
Yeah.
I was in primary school, I had the worst case of acne, and my
Mm.
nickname was Frog Back. You know what the back of the frog looked like. You know. And I
Oh my
survived that. I
God.
survived that.
Wow. How
And I
did
got,
you do that though? How you
listen,
survived that one?
I got it from school and I got it from home from my neighbors. And funnily enough, I got it from also some family members. And
Oh,
the thing
really?
is, I was the type of girl that I always kept to myself, always.
Yeah.
I have brothers and sisters, but you would think that I'm an only child. And I feel like that's how I
Mm.
survived it. I kept myself isolated from everybody else. So the only time people will get a chance to bother me is if you see me probably going for lunch or if you spot me outside, because I'm an inside girl. But
Mm-hmm.
there was something within me that kept going, and I could see beyond the bumps and the spots on my face, and
Yeah.
my face clear now and all these things,
Smooth
so
face and all.
smooth and all
It's
these things.
those are some of the things that help to build you. You might not see it when you're younger, but as you get older, you realize that
Mhm.
those are some of the things that helps you to champion in life.
Right, right. You're so right about that. I'm definitely enjoying this conversation so far. I see
Oh,
when you go out, you are very well put together and maybe on the sexier side, right? Which is awesome. Which is awesome.
yes,
When
yes.
people see you outside of your police uniform, what
Mhm.
are some of the comments that you get?
Well, to be honest, a lot of people see me outside of my uniform and they don't know it's me.
Oh, wow.
Unless you're really close to me, then you'll know it's me. So most of the time people see me, they don't know me. Unless they really, really know that that's Sasha. But most of the time they
Mm-hmm.
don't know me. Like I also, for example, I went to an event a couple weeks ago and I made the post recently and this lady commented and she was saying, so you're the one who was standing in front of us all the time? I'm like, so nobody knows it when I'm put together. So that is why I
Yeah.
say I like that because I can enjoy myself, I can relax a little, and nobody's watching me and say, watch your police girl over this, or watch her dance or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I like to have fun. That's me. I like to have fun. I like to live my life. If I plan to go out, I'm going to go out and enjoy myself and come back home, wake up, go work the next day, and do what I have to do. That's just me. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people don't really know it's me, but for those who actually pick up that it's me, they'll be like, "Whoa, you look so different outside a uniform." Some might say, "Oh, you look even better outside a uniform." So that
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the reactions I get, mixed reactions.
Right. But this is a big question though.
Hmm.
For someone who looks the way you do, of
Hmm.
all the careers that you could have chosen, why did you choose to be a police officer?
Always see police and choose leader. I
Yeah.
always say that. All right, so it was a case in which after I finished high school, I started working and I realized that all my friends went to college. I took a year break after I finished school because I wanted a break from school. And then I realized that all my friends went to university and I feel like I'm like kind of behind with education. So I started college. I heard about National Police College that they do associate degrees and they allow civilians to start it there and then transition into UE. So I started there part time whilst working. So when I was going to that college, I was like one of the two of us were the only civilians, and everybody else they were police officers. So being around them, they started to encourage me like, why don't you join the force? If you join the force, you can still do school, and they'll give you time to go to school, and you can still work, and it'll be easier on you because at the time the job that I was doing, I wasn't working that much to take care of my bills and school. So they encouraged me and I transitioned into become a police officer, called school, did the training. then finish training, come back out and finish school. So that's really how I ended up in becoming a police officer, right? And during that time, whilst I was there and they were encouraging me, I've realized that I started looking more deeply at the career of becoming a police officer, looking at the pros, looking at the cons, and I just love seeing the woman in the blue uniform. That
Yeah.
caught my eye, and I said,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I'm going to give it a try. But before that, I really wanted to become a lawyer, but at the time, I really couldn't afford that school fee. So that's how I really ended up in becoming a police officer.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been a police officer?
7 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long
Yes,
time.
7 years. Is
And
it?
I'm assuming you're enjoying it.
I'm able to mold younger, like right now I am a law enforcement instructor, meaning I train recruits. So now I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to mold younger minds into transitioning from a civilian life into becoming police officer. And that is just a fulfilling feeling that I get. And sometimes people message me and say, I really want to become a police officer, how to do this, how to do that. And that really pushes me to really venture into that field so that I can get more information and to pass it on to persons who really want to make a difference in the country. So it's
Mm-hmm.
I love my job and I wouldn't regret being in it. Never at all. Because trust me, everything happens for a reason, and I see where I have impacted many lives. Many lives. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm here and
Right.
still loving it every day.
After 7 years.
After 7 years.
With so many stigmas attached to being a police officer in Jamaica, what were your parents' thoughts when you told them that you wanted to do this?
My mother didn't want me to join. My mom is in the military, and she's kind of affair with what's happening in military world and the police and world, and she didn't want me to join. So I actually went behind her back and did a test,
Oh, wow.
and she found out after. She was a bit upset, but I decided that I really wanted to do it, and after a while, she just had to work with it and she still loves me, so she can't change
Yeah,
that, but she started to work with it and continues to encourage me daily. And she's a praying mom, so she continues to pray for me because she knows it's a dangerous job.
yeah.
So yeah.
What about
And when I told my
daddy?
dad, yeah, when I told my dad was like, yeah, my girl, yeah, my dad is like that. My dad has my type of spirit. Yeah, man,
Oh,
do your thing.
wow.
And he brags about me all the time, a police daughter and all of that. And every time he calls me and say, Sasha, somebody just showed me on YouTube or they show me it on the TV, a police daughter,
Mhm.
Ray Ray. So my dad is excited for it. My dad never tells me no for anything at all. Never said
Oh,
no.
wow, daddy's baby.
Yes.
All right, so I do see that you are super popular and you are loved. I seen that you are in different ads. You're on
Yes.
YouTube. I saw you on Stay Global
Yes,
Cosmetics.
they
Are you
golden
an
cosmetics.
Yeah, are you an official ambassador for them, or you were just contracted to do that work?
It was just a one-time gig.
A
So I'm not
one-time
an
gig.
ambassador for Seagolen, but my friend is her company, so I still promote her whenever I get the chance to. So check out
Mm-hmm.
Seagolen Cosmetic, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sasha, where do you see yourself, say in 5 years from now? Do you still want to be in the force, or you're thinking about venturing off in different areas?
I I still see myself in the forest because what I do actually, I set small goals, right? So I gave myself 5 years to be promoted, and they promoted me within the 5 years. And
Oh,
I'm
good.
giving myself another 2 years to be promoted. That 2 year would be this year. So if I'm promoted this year, then I'll continue to set those many goals. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's a case where I see the goals that I'm setting, they're not being fulfilled while I'm here, I might venture off into something else. I've been thinking about politics, but maybe that's for another conversation. But otherwise, from that, I hope to be at least an inspector within the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
Ambitious. That's why I tell you, beauty with a purpose. Or the commissioner, beauty with a purpose. That is what I'm talking about. I feel like
Yeah.
more stories like yours is needed, especially in a time like this. Too many times we have girls who just don't believe in themselves because you don't have that force to help push you and say, you know
Push
what, you
you.
can do it. Like, don't
Yes.
think like that. You have the ability. And I feel like based on what you've shared with me so far, you had that vacative behind you to say, go
Yes.
girl, you could do it.
Yes. A lot of persons really don't have that, and that is sad. And when they don't have that person in the corner to push you and you have a weak mindset, that is where you actually fall, right? So when you really have persons in your corner to say that we appreciate you, we appreciate what you're doing, you can do this, it gives you a different sense of worthiness, that you're worthy to be here, you're worthy to be in this space, because people see you and they see your talent and they know what you're capable of. You haven't seen it, but they do. So when you have that group of people, or that even one person to motivate and push you, it's a different feeling, trust me. And I wish everyone had that. And that is why I use my platform every day to encourage people when they ask me questions about whether pageantry, but about joining the police force. And I get a lot of those questions, trust me, a lot. So this is why I also created that YouTube channel to tell people about how to join the police force, how to pass the physical, how to pass the interview. And I realized that that helps a lot, because I have persons who I'm training now who said to me that your video inspired me to become a police officer.
Oh, wow. You're doing the doing now. You're really doing the things, you know.
Thank
With
you.
such a strong personality, we know about cyberbullying. You're in the
Yes,
public's eye in so many different ways. Do you get that
yes.
type of online attack?
I do get it. Not outrightly, but I do get it. And what I do, thank you, social media, for that button called block. I Once I see something I do not like, block. I do not entertain it. So you realize some pages, you see this long chain with people going back and forth, back and forth. No, that's not me. If I see something I do not like, I block you or I delete you. If I realize that you're making comments that will sway people's mind, I restrict you. And when I see that you change, then I unrestrict you. So yeah. And cyberbullying is real. It's very real. I've gotten complaints about it too. It's we need to use social media for positive things. You are doing a wonderful job interviewing various persons from various backgrounds, sharing their stories. And if people can look into this and say, okay, how can I use my platform to enhance the lives of others? We'll have a better social media world. Trust me.
Right, right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What is the worst comment you feel like you've gotten from a follower?
Uh, ooh, um, the one that jumps out at me right now is the ones that say, "Oh, she's always on social media. She's not doing any work." Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one that really jumps out at me. But because I know that I am indeed doing a lot of work, because you cannot let people change the way you are or change your outlook on life. And that is why many of us fall into the wrong direction or the wrong path, because we're not strong enough to fight against all the negativity that is coming at us. And I know deep down that I am doing a lot of work. So you telling me I'm not doing no work, doing any work, that's a block for you.
Right.
I
When they
am
don't
doing
know
work.
your
So for
personality.
example, they don't know me personally too. They
Right.
don't know me. They don't know what my days like. They don't know what I've been through to get where I'm at. They don't know. people just see you and they just talk. And trust me, you can't stop people from talking. And as I say, I use that to motivate me. I went to work yesterday from 6 p.m. and got off this morning at 8 a.m. Right?
Right.
So that's a whole 14 hours duty. But I am not going to record that and put that on social media. What I might do now, I might, like, I'm dressed up now, I might take a cute little picture and post it now. And you didn't know what I was doing 14 hours
I was like,
before.
right.
You're going to look at me now and say, oh, that's all she's good for, posting pictures and not working. So you just have to have a strong head to fight these battles.
Right. And your time management must be impeccable as well.
Yes, you have to manage your time. And as I always say, I love life. I love to live. So whenever I get any time off from work, I'm going to enjoy my life. I've come across many near death experiences, right? So I know what it's like to go to work and something happened at work, and then I'm zoned out in a space. I'm like, oh my God, I woke up this morning, came to work, and I almost didn't make it back home. Like, I've had a lot of those experiences, and I've been in accident before. I've been in accident that didn't allow me to go to school for 3 months. I've been drinking out of straw. My mother had to bathe me. That year I came like 19th in my class, like out of 30 something or 20 something. That's a really bad score for me, because I'm used to being up there in the top 10, top 5. So I have a lot of near-death experiences, and I am encouraging people, live your life to the fullest, but at the same time, ensure that you have proper time management, you set your goals, you work towards them, and you achieve them. Nothing beats that. And be nice to people, be kind.
Right. I want to hear about that accident though. Was that in college or high school?
That was in high school. All right. So, like the Sunday night, I said to my mom, I feel like something bad is going to happen. And mommy was like, why are you saying that? And I said, I feel like something bad is going to happen. And the next day I went to school. I was going to St. Jago at this time, and I had to come off the bus right in front of the hospital gate, cross the road to go around Rivoli, because that's where my school was. So I got off the bus. There wasn't any stoplight there at the time. And I believe my accident is one of the reasons why they went ahead and put up a stoplight. I got off the bus. I was about to cross the road. Some car stopped. I was going across the road, and this busman came right around the corner and hit me down. And
this is in front of the school.
In front of the hospital. No, the hospital.
Oh, the hospital.
The Spanish Town Hospital, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it hit me down, and I got up thinking I was okay. I got up, started to brushing off myself, and then I fell back to the ground. Every time I tell this story, my friends always laugh, because when I tell it, I always give jokes about it. Because it was so weird. I got up thinking that I'm okay and fell back to the ground. And the busman, he was about to drive off, and Spanish Town, that's in on the ramp with Spanish Town people, if them say something will go wrong, they're going to assist. He was about to drive off, and then stop him down the road and send him back. And the security pulled me out the road, put me on the side of the road. They were waiting on an ambulance or something, or somebody to take me in. But the busman came back, and they told him to put me in the bus and take me over to the hospital, because it was right at the gate. And yeah, so that was that story. I ended up got scars. That's how I got the chipped tooth. That's what I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That's how I got the chipped tooth, and then I ended up having scars over here. They're still there. It's not that bad. It's not that obvious unless I tell you. And I had a lot of bruises. My uniform tear up, my ID crack up. I didn't go to school for 3 months because I was unable to really help myself to walk. I was in a lot of pain. I wasn't able to eat hard food. I had to be drinking from straw. My mom had to be feeding me. My mom had to be bathing me. So it was a terrible, terrible, terrible accident, which every time I look back on it, I thank God that I'm here now and I'm able to talk about it. So yeah.
What a blessing.
It is.
Yeah. And ironically, it happened in front of the
The
hospital.
hospital, yes, it
Oh,
did.
wow.
And
And,
that
go ahead.
okay, I was saying that very same day, my mom got called from the school that I'd won an essay competition. Because I used to love writing stories and composition. So they told her that I won an essay composition that very same day. And that's when they heard about accident because she was like, Sasha just missed into an accident, etc., etc. So, I mean, I felt it. I felt it like the day before. I don't,
Yeah,
2 times that's ever happened to me, I felt like something is going to happen, and it did happen.
it
You don't know
happened.
what it is. And they used to call
Wow.
me like a prophet when I was younger. So, I
Hmm.
don't know. Yeah.
Listen, I'm happy that you're here to tell that story. The busman who was about to drive off, whatever happened to him, were there any
You,
consequences?
uh, it was his birthday. I don't
Oh,
know kind of gift
wow.
that you get for your birthday. But anyways, it was his birthday. My my family wanted my mom to press charges, but my mom is so soft. She
She
said
didn't.
that she didn't want to because she was saying that she drives as well and it could have been her. She started putting herself in his position. And then because he got so timid too, because my
She's
mom
soldier
came in her uniform.
uniform.
My mom
Okay.
came in her uniform with about 10 bag of police behind her.
Oh,
So like
wow.
he was there with me because they weren't letting him leave. He was there with me, and every lady came in. He was like, "Is that your mom?" I'm like, "No, is that your mom? No, is that your mom?" When the soldier stepped in, I never asked me for my mother. When my mother came to me and she was like, "Sasha," the man like it was like this, like him doing out, him shocked, him surprised, and he was
Uh-huh.
taking kids to school, like little kids. So it's like a charter, but he was taking little kids to school. So my mom, she just allowed him to assist with paying the bills. And you
Mm-hmm.
can see he didn't have much. So he assisted with paying the bills and she saw him a few times after that too, and he always asked about me.
Mm-hmm.
But as it relates to pressing charges and whatnot, we didn't take it that far because my mom got soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, damn. Like you're here, you're healthy, you're fine, but at the same time, it's still a story that rocks you. You
Yeah.
understand? You're headed to school. It's his birthday. He's taking kids to school. So I do understand where your mom is coming from, where she actually
Yeah.
reasoned it out and say, you know what? Let me not do it. My daughter is here and she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, my mother, she is so superstitious. If I ever wake up and it's time to go to school, I say,
Third.
I have a bad dream. And the
She said
dream
you're
goes
not
so,
going
she
anywhere.
said, take your uniform off. You're not going to school today. That's how she is. If I say, I dream about me touch, she say, okay, that's it. No school
So
today.
so
So
so that means sometimes when you really don't want to go to school, you tell her you had a bad dream.
not a lot of times, but every now and
But
again,
you
I'll be like,
did.
I dreamed something last night, She said, all right, you're not going to
Yeah.
school today. But I didn't use it too much. Um,
Yeah.
but we know her parents are happy that you're here. I said it already, but I'm still gonna say it again because I know in the moment you got hit down and you jump right back up because of the
Yeah.
shock of it. Your body
Yeah.
wasn't even comprehending at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that is definitely a powerful story. You came
Thank you.
19th, but I'm sure you bounced back right after that in class.
Yes, man, of course, because that was actually first form that when I was in grade 7. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've graduated school with ease. Got 860, 7K. I'm a bachelor's now. Looking forward to doing my master's. So bounce right back. I'm blessed, and that is why I give thanks every day, and that is why I continue to smile. But people would not understand because they don't know what you have been through. I've been shot at before, once I work, so I know what it's like to miss that near death feeling, I know what it's like. So every day I smile and I give God thanks. I have to be grateful for every awakening moment. And I just wish a lot of person would just look on life that way instead of being stuck here and sad and miserable, but just live your life. Live your life and give God thanks every day. That's me.
I know that being a police officer, you have seen a whole heap of things that you can't even talk about. But you seeing and having these experiences, tell me how you maintain good mental health.
All right. So maybe people think I'm weird, but how I maintain my mental health is really I sometimes do yoga and I do meditation, and that doesn't involve me going to yoga classes and stuff like that. I did yoga officially like maybe twice, and after I learned what to do, I practice on my own, lock myself away in my room, and I listen to persons on YouTube who give motivational speeches, like even past pageant queens. There's this, what's her name again? I don't remember her name, but she was Miss USA. She was also in the military, and now she's a motivational speaker. I listen to her all the time. I don't remember to pronounce her name, but it starts with D. Yeah, I don't remember to pronounce, but it starts with D. I listen to her all the time, and she also talks about mental health and the fact that she's a Black woman living in a white man's land, and the various things people would say to her and stuff like that. I take those stories and I take what I need to take from them, and I use them to help to motivate myself. Also, before I go to bed at night, I would play some meditating music on YouTube and just lay down, relax, and listen to them before I go to sleep. So as much as how I love to party or I love to be out there in the social world with friends and all of that, I love my own space at times. I love to lock away myself and just think back on all the things that I've done in my past life, things that I'm doing now, and where I want to go in the future. So you have to take that time away from all the noise around you and just find that space. And so what I also do, I download this mantra app, and every morning it gives me my mantras. So every morning it asks you to press on the button, take a deep breath in and exhale, and then it tells you your mantra. So it would say like, today I am beautiful and I am loved, stuff like that. So I will continuously read those, and sometimes I'll post them on my social media in my story, because you don't know who is watching and who can help. So those are some of the things I use to take care of my mental health. And then there are times when I just take myself away from social media completely and give it a break, like a few weeks or so. So those are some of the things that I do.
Okay, that's cool. What's the name for those who are watching? What's the name of the mantra app?
Hold on, let me tell you.
It's things like that is very important.
It's called mantra.
It's called mantra.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can you see?
I can see it a little
the one
bit
right here. It's called mantra.
Mantra.
Yeah, it's called mantra. Just download it.
Okay.
Every morning, you set the time. You set the time that you want it to remind you. So mine, I set it for 8 a.m. every morning, because by that time I'll be up. Set it for 8 a.m. every morning, and it just give you all those positive quotes and stuff like that.
That's awesome. It's great when you're in a position to help yourself take care of your own mental health, and you don't have to extend your reach too far to other people. When I was 16, I took my first set of antidepressant tablets,
Mm,
16. And when they were prescribed
really?
to me, yeah, my parents had no clue what it was, no clue at all.
Uh-huh.
But when I took my first tablet, it put me in such a weird place. Like my I didn't belong to myself anymore. It's almost like you're a zombie. That's how it made me feel. And when
So
I
those are
they
prescribed
were
by a doctor?
prescribed by a
So at
doctor,
16, weren't your parents there with you when they were
my
prescribed?
mother was there with me, but how should I say this? She Let's just say she didn't know what it was. Like the doctor would say, this is called so and so, this will make her feel better, so make sure she takes it, blah blah blah. So you're listening to the doctor, and the doctor said it's going to make you feel better. So based on
Oh.
what I was going through at the time. But when
Mm-hmm.
I took it, I knew what it was, because he didn't say it was antidepressants.
Ooh.
When I
Did,
took it,
did,
I knew,
okay.
because
Tell me
I
about the
had
feeling you had.
I had more knowledge than my parents. Let's just say it that way.
Okay, no
When
problem.
I
No
took the
problem.
first one, my body just it felt like I wasn't able to move, but I was moving. You understand? It felt like
Mm-hmm.
my body no longer belonged to me. It's almost like a robotic feeling. You're just moving.
Wow.
You're just moving,
Wow.
but you're numb to a lot of things. So when I explained to them after probably like an entire week of taking it, I told them, this is not for me. I can't take it anymore, because when I'm on
Mm-hmm.
it, I don't feel like
You don't feel like
myself.
yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I'm sitting up right now, it made me feel like this.
That's all like more depressing than
That
antidepressant.
than antidepressant. That's how it made me
Yeah.
felt. But I'm saying this to you to say that at that time, I wish I understood what
Yeah.
meditation was. I wish I
Yeah.
understood what yoga was. Because if
Yeah.
I understood, then I would know that, okay, when I'm feeling a certain way, take my deep breath in
Yeah.
and out. Go to YouTube, play some meditation music, or, because this is how, in this household, this is how we put our children to bed. We go to
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and we put meditation music
To
on,
music, yeah.
right? To relax them and get them ready for the next day. But talking to you and you putting all of these things out there, I'm always hopeful that whoever is
There's
watching
someone there to listen
to listen
to.
and understand, and understand, to know that, you know what, I'm feeling this way. I don't have to put myself in a corner or in a box and
Yeah.
feel all the pressure up here. So I'm thinking too many different things, and maybe even put myself to a point where I want to hurt myself. But if I can
Yeah.
hear someone like Sasha who's saying yoga, meditation, mantra, then it does
Yeah.
something for them. You know what I'm
Yeah. When I
saying?
was younger though, I wasn't aware of all these things, and pageantry has a lot to do with my mindset now, for real, because whilst
Mm-hmm.
there they got persons who are professional in this field, and they tell you how to cope with stress, right? How to cope with stress, and how to kind of like take yourself away from all the hustle and bustle, and just take that time out for yourself to really get to know yourself more, get to be more spiritual with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God for pageantry as well. And ever since, have always been doing these things. And one more thing is that sometimes you need to let it out. So sometimes you need to find a confidant that you can speak to
Boy, it's
and
such a
let that
hard,
person.
It's
It is
hard.
really hard. It is really
Yeah.
hard. It is
Mm-hmm.
really hard, especially if you had situation before where you tell somebody something that you really didn't
And
want
they
others
betray
to
your
know,
trust.
and then they betray that trust. So that's why I more stick to meditation and stuff like that. Write down things, but at the end of the day, you still have to find somebody who you can vent to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who you can sometimes, when you have all that battle inside of you, the best way to get rid of it is to just talk about it. Even if the person is not going to do anything about it, you just want to know that there's somebody there who's listening. You just talk about it.
Mm-hmm. What about those who make the attempt to speak to maybe a parent, a friend, an aunt, but they got shunned? Like, I don't have time for that right now. What would be the secondary option?
All right. It depending on what situation it is, then sometimes you can look outside of your family. So you can look to counselors. You can look if you're like a child or someone in primary school, high school, and you don't think you can talk to your parents, there are always guidance counselors at school. You can talk to them, and if it needs be to go to somewhere else, then they'll take it there. As also persons don't know, but police stations, they're always open for you to come in and talk to somebody, and they'll put you onto counselors within the organization. And also, we also work with external agencies that will come on board and assist with counseling and stuff like that. A lot of persons, they don't want to talk to strangers about their business or whatnot, but sometimes talking to strangers really help, because that way you won't be judged too. They don't know your background, they don't know what you did before, where you're coming from, so they're able to give you an informed uh, advice based on
Hmm.
their profession, so to speak. So you can find other ways, other person to talk to. It's just that you have to let it out. You can't
Hmm.
keep it all in. You have to let it out. You go crazy.
Hmm. So true. On a lighter note, what is that one thing that people don't know about Sasha, but you would like to share?
Is that one thing people don't know? I think I told you in a previous question that I like to be alone at times. That's one thing a lot of person really don't know about me. I like
Mm-hmm.
to have that time when I'm just selfish and I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to lock myself in my room and watch a movie or sleep. That's that's that one thing. I like to be alone at times.
Your
No
chill
matter how
time.
much, yeah, no matter how much you see me on social media, here, there, adventurous and all of that, there are times when I just want to be by myself, because that helps me to catch myself, so to speak, and to
Mhm.
remember that, sometimes you need to slow it down a little. So that's one thing about me.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna ask you this last question. 5 words to describe who Sasha is.
I am fierce. I am
Mm-hmm.
fabulous. I am beautiful. I am determined. And most definitely, I am, what's the fifth one? Adventurous.
Adventurous.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So to sign us out, give me your final words for those who's watching our interview. What would be your final words to people who think that um, I'm too pretty, I can't do policing. Oh, there's too much stigma attached to being a police. If I become a police, that means my life is over. I'm just to them and I can't do nothing else.
Okay. What I'm going to say goes for both male and female, right? You're unique, you're beautiful slash handsome, and you're strong. And it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter your background, you can achieve anything you put your mind to if you just work hard and believe in yourself. And on that note, if you want to keep in touch with me, you can follow me on all my socials. Sashi_Henry for Instagram, Sashi, Sashi _Henry for Instagram, and Queen Pop for YouTube.
Queen
Love you
Cup.
guys.
That's my new YouTube channel to watch. I love Queen Cup.
Yeah, Queen Pop.
Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I wish you nothing but the best. Continue being yourself, and I hope one day you do become the commissioner. Goals, goals. And if you do get the opportunity again to represent our country, Jamaica. So just wonderful things, more wonderful things, and congratulations on everything that has been happening in your life. You're awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure. I enjoyed this conversation thoroughly, and I hope it touched the lives of other persons out there. And you're doing an absolutely amazing job. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you, girl. And
You're
enjoy the rest
welcome.
of your day. And we will keep in touch.
Thank you. I will. Sure.
All right. And say hi to Auntie.
I will. I will.
All right.
If you've made it this far, that really only means that we're at the end of another conversation. But just before you roll into the next episode, it's time for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Catch you on the next episode.